Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome back to another Real Madrid review. Real Madrid 2, Mallorca 1. Real Madrid gets a win. It's not necessarily important, but I suppose you want to end on a high, like we say in the preview. In terms of face value, and you look at the game and you see Real Madrid scraping a win in the 95th minute, you would think it was a bad game. But to be honest, if you watched the game, you would have known that Real Madrid could have won that game like 7-0. To be honest, okay, 7-1 because they did score. But you get what I mean. It could have been an absolute rampage if it wasn't for Leo Roman, the Mallorca goalkeeper, who was on steroids. Not literally, but he was crazy. And not many players get shout outs when they lose to Real Madrid. You would oftenly sort of expect their team to be poor or players making mistakes, which is why they won, or they had a good game. Which is why they lost. Sorry, but I thought that without him they could have lost 7-1. To be honest, something along those lines. It could have been a humiliation. And he was bailing them out time and time again. And you have to give credit where credit is due. He was unstoppable, Leo Roman. And yeah, what a performance. And I've seen people say Real Madrid signed him. Look, I'm sure he's a very good goalkeeper, but I don't think that is how we should go by signing a player. And I don't see it, to be honest. I think it's not serious conversation. It's a joke, but I get what they mean. Obviously making that amount of saves, sign him up, right? But yeah, what's a performance from him. But for Real Madrid, it was very important to just you know keep the high up. But obviously, with the injuries, it was important to get the job done and get the win. So, yeah, much needed results, um, especially with a lot of youth players on the bench as well. It was a bench full of youth players. So, yeah, lots of pressure, but it was very well done, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, Jacobo Ramon starting, we'll talk about him in a bit. Um, 95th minute winner. Raul Asensio, of course, I know he has been part of this first team for a while now, but he's still young. He's still, a player who came through the youth academy. Gonzalo Garcia was one of only two changes, but obviously on the bench, Chema Andres, David Jimenez, Victor Munoz, and Frank Gonzalez, um, Mario Rivas. So many youth players um, on the bench. So yeah, it was obviously going to be the main team having to step up and having to get the job done. And I thought we did a great job, to be honest. Um, yeah, let's talk about the first goal. Valiant, the centre half, makes an incredible run, to be honest. And somehow he is in that position, and somehow he scores on his left foot. I'm not sure if he's left footed, but he's a defender. He's a defender. So yeah, absolutely incredible, to be honest. Um, but poor defending. That was a poor defended goal, and yeah, I was surprised Courtois didn't save that, to be honest. But yeah, that was a poor goal, and then I mean, so many shots were literally saved by Leo Roman. I know Endrick had one early on. Luka Modric had one. Bellingham had a couple. I think Arda Güler had a couple in the first and second half. Bellingham as well. Mbappe as well. There were just shots. Fede Valverde had a brilliant volley again. Well saved as well. So yeah, everyone had the opportunity to score throughout the game, but it was just a masterclass. But second half, Real Madrid finally found the goal. Mbappe gets the ball from, I think, Modric, and then just dribbles past 3 to 4 players like we know he can, and slots it into the near post. Brilliant goal individually. It is a brilliant goal. And then, like I said, there were just saves we made. I think Gonzalo Garcia missed the whole goal a couple of minutes before, and I think during that period it was just sort of, are Real Madrid going to not win? Are they going to draw? And then cross comes in, and Vallejo, he, I think, gets a touch, which goes to Jacobo Ramon, the two centre halves, and Jesus Vallejo, by the way. This is a player that we've all made memes of. And yes, that assist doesn't change the fact that he's not good enough. But to come on, having not played basically the whole season, to come on, get a touch, and then the assist. I mean, respect to him. Fair play to him. I don't think any Real Madrid fans have anything against him. It's not his fault that he has been signed in the past. It's not his fault that he's being paid stupid money. He will be leaving in the summer. But that was actually a respectable and funny moment, to be honest, that he got the assist for the winning goal. So fair play. But Jacobo Ramon scoring, people were crying, especially rival fans were crying a foul. That is not a foul. He went for the ball, he got the ball, and he did sort of go on top of the defender, but the defender didn't even go down until the end. So definitely not a foul. But what a goal from Jacobo Ramon. His first senior Real Madrid goal. I know he's got a couple for the Castilla team, but his first senior goal, his first senior start, that was a brilliant moment for him. And 95th minute as well, just couldn't write the script any better. But it doesn't really mean much, to be honest, so we won't really dwell a lot on what it means. It means that Carlo Ancelotti has his win rate continue to increase, and obviously that is a good thing for him and a very good way to give him the proper send-off. Hopefully the last 2 games against Sevilla away and Real Sociedad at home, we can get them as wins as well and end off on a high. Although it might not mean much, because after that, you head into June, you head into the Club World Cup, you have a fresh start, you have a fresh page. But we are still focused on right now, the present, and we still have to just appreciate the moments that we still can right now, although it doesn't really mean much. And I think Real Madrid fans are acceptant of that fact, but we are also very excited for what's upcoming next. So it's sort of like what it is, right? Overall, there really isn't a lot to talk about in terms of this game. It might be one of the shorter reviews I've made, to be honest. Obviously, I can go through the team. Courtois didn't have as much to do compared to Leo Roman. The goal he conceded wasn't great. I thought he could have done better, but wasn't a bad performance. Fede Valverde was good. Jacobo Ramon and Asensio were actually very, very good. Fran Garcia was actually good, to be fair. Arda Güler had a very good game. Ceballos, I would say was probably the worst player on the pitch, along with Endrick in terms of the involvement. Obviously, I'm not saying he was bad. I'm just saying compared to the rest of the team, it wasn't much going on for them. Luka Modric was crucial in terms of controlling the play of the midfield. I'm not saying he's a Toni Kroos, because they have always been very different in their style of play, but he was doing what Toni Kroos would have done, and because he's the only experienced one in that midfield. Bellingham had a good game, but again, frustrated. You can see, I think it was the 84th minute, he had the shot saved by Leo Roman, and he went to the board at the side, the advertising board, and he kicked it. And obviously, I'm not too bothered about that, but it shows that he's frustrated. It shows that he's tired, and I think he needs to rest, right? But he's not gonna get any. And like I said in the preview, I would probably have benched him, but obviously you don't have any options. Who are you gonna start? So there isn't an option. And Endrick and Mbappe, like I said, Endrick had the shot saved early on, but afterwards there wasn't really much involved, and Mbappe could well be the man of the match if it wasn't for Leo Roman. But for Real Madrid's man of the match, it probably is Mbappe, to be honest. Another great goal, and you can see that he is the leader on the pitch now. He's being more vocal, and he has certainly and hopefully he will continue to be a leader in the team, because he's one of the older players, as much as he's still a young player. But he's not the Mbappe we know of a few years ago when he's 19, 20. He's 25, 26 now, so he is a player who needs to step up. But yeah, overall, very happy with the way the game went, and most importantly, the youth players like Jacobo Ramon coming on, getting not just a start and not just minutes, but also that goal. And of course, we will be also waiting for the transfer window, and obviously Dean Hilson, he has been announced. So yeah, great. Hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. Hit the like if you did, subscribe to join us on already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.